You're listening to Podcast BXN,
a video game podcast
delivering player experience news.
Let's go!
Hello, I'm Noah Croft, and welcome to Podcast BXN episode 133. I am one of your hosts, your favorite Portland Mexican, Christian Macias, and alongside me today, I'm gonna start doing the LP. Never mind. I'm joined over Discord by Kentucky's #1 Spartan, Daniel Prindle, aka over on Twitter. Dan is DTM.
Hi.
Oh, he just doesn't want to say hello anymore. Okay,
Oh.
There we go. The Nintendo aficionado, Roro,
Hello.
and one half of the Men in Gitch podcast, Gage Dempster, aka Gilbo Biggins.
Hola.
I missed you, lads. How's everyone doing?
Good.
Doing good. Doing very good, sir. How are you doing?
God, I appreciate you for asking me that. I'm doing well. Am I a little tired? For sure, but we're hanging in there.
Yes.
As a reminder, thank you to everyone watching us live and participating in the chat. We are live each and every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern on YouTube. Just search Podcast PXN, twitch.tv/Podcast PXN, and over on Twitter as well. The topic of the show this week is things are about to get unreal. What do we mean? You'll have to find out in Tots. But first, the show always starts with the PXN news of the week, so let's go ahead and jump right in. It is Quick Bites time. Get your little finger foods ready, your little napkins, your waters, your polar waters. And let's dive in. The first quick bite we've got, some Fortnite news. Thanks to the Fortnite community and Xbox, they have raised $144 million for various relief funds to help Ukraine. This is fantastic. I think it was a week long, or was it 10 days? I can't remember which was one of those two, but they had a time frame where they were raising funds to help Ukraine, and they did reach $144 million, which is absolutely incredible.
Beautiful.
That's awesome.
Amazing.
Do not read the replies of this tweet where Fortnite is talking about this.
Oh, okay.
I did not think Ukrainian relief funds would spur console wars, and yet
And yet.
here we are.
Oh, man.
Either way, speaking of PlayStation, I didn't say it, but I read it in the Twitter replies. There was an exploit that I took advantage of. That is with PS Now. There was a PS Now 12-month subscription on sale. It was down to $60 USD. And if you were to take advantage of that, it would then roll over into PS Premium over in June. So naturally, I took advantage. I think Dan did as well, right?
Yes.
How many years did you do?
I did. I think, did I do 2 or 3 years? I don't even remember. 3 years, I think, because I'm just a madman. Because I was already talking about the second tier being good value, and this is actually cheaper than the second tier. So it's like, it's a no-brainer. I mean,
Yeah. I don't know if you can buy it anymore. I think I tried yesterday and I couldn't get it. But yeah, that was a few days ago, and I did take advantage of it, but only 1 year. I'll see how PS Premium works and see if I like it. I think just 1 year is fine for now.
it's fair.
Moving on, this comes from IGN. Fila announced the Ray Tracer Evo Cross Sonic slip-on sneakers, and they look incredibly good.
They look so
I
cool.
would've liked it, yeah. They sold out pretty quickly, though. So you indeed had to go fast to get them.
Yeah. I wish I had the money and the bots to get this because I would have totally have gotten it. But yeah, these are really cool sneakers. I remember they did a collaboration with Puma for the first movie, and they weren't as cool as this. So I'm glad they actually made Sonic shoes. So that's really cool.
These
Yeah.
look like straight up like the video game sneakers.
Yeah.
When I see these, I think like obviously I think Sonic, but like this is what he legit like wears almost, you know?
Yeah.
I'm almost afraid to look at eBay right now.
Oh man,
We should actually for science.
the
For
prices
science.
must be
That-
insane.
That's the worst part about bots is people just take stuff straight to freaking eBay and mark it up 1,000,000%. Ugh.
Yeah.
Awful.
And that's the thing with sneakers for the most part. Like I think sneakers have it really bad.
Yeah.
I remember.
Go ahead.
I was going to say when I did check, when I did get the news for this, I wanted to see how much they were and how many sizes were available. And the only sizes that were there were like 3.5. And I was like,
Oh my
and
gosh.
those sold out eventually too. Like, who's buying 3.5 men's
Yeah.
shoes? But like, someone did.
Buddy. I tried to get the there's Halo work boots that dropped a couple weeks back
Yes, I saw
in
that.
collaboration with Wolverine. and I get money back from my company. So I was like, let me try and weasel in this pair of Halo work boots and then get reimbursed for it. They were gone immediately, and yeah, I think they were sold for $300 American,
Yeah.
and then if you go on eBay like the next day, they're up to like 2,500. It's just crazy.
There was only 117 available. Well, 116 available. The raffling this 117th one,
Wow.
but yeah, that's not very many when in the grand scheme of things.
No, it's not. It's a minuscule amount.
Before we move on, I actually went to the Fila website. There are smaller sizes, like Ro was saying, available, but there's also some like 10 and a half, starting from 10 and a half and up all the way to 13. Those sizes are still available.
Oh.
And it's only $110 for this pair. And you could also buy it with Afterpay. You'd be paying 4 interest repayments of $27.50. That is still up right now.
Wow.
All
That's
right.
not bad.
I don't need them. I really want to buy them, but I don't.
It's like
need 'em. I don't need 'em.
I am a 10.5. I was like, should I?
I am.
Get
Me
it? Yeah. But
Are we
yeah,
all size 10.5?
Are we really?
No, that kind of rocks. Let's show each other our feet.
Wow. After dark, PXN after dark.
Mhm.
Dan, the people want it. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm a size 10, but I can make a 10.5 work.
Sure.
You ruined
Yeah.
it.
I'm
You did
sorry.
ruin it. I thought
I'm
the same
sorry.
thing.
I'm sorry. What's that? What's wrong, Christian?
Am I
You're
going
sensing
crazy?
something?
You guys hear that?
No.
Nobody else hears that?
No, you're definitely going crazy.
The Dead Speak. Return to
Oh.
Monkey Island is coming 2022 by Ron Gilbert's Terrible Toy Box in collaboration with Devolver Digital and Lucasfilm Games. I never played Monkey Island. I won't lie to you. So this did nothing for me. Did it do anything for any of you guys?
No.
Not a thing. This is the wrong crowd. Yeah. But good for whoever is excited for this. I guess.
Ryan McCaffrey on Twitter, he was freaking out.
Congratulations to all the monkeys going back to the island. It's going to be sweet.
I think Emmett Watkins Jr. did a tweet like, "Oh, dudes in their mid 30s are going crazy right now," and like I don't know, maybe that's accurate. So
I missed
There
that
you go.
cutoff.
just barely.
Just barely.
We got some indie news for you. Trek to Yomi finally gets a release date and is coming May 5th. And as a reminder, if you have Game Pass, it is indeed coming to Game Pass.
Yeah.
Very exciting. This game looks awesome.
Yeah, they put 15 minutes of footage up, but I did not watch it because I want to wait for the game at this
Yeah,
point.
I'm already
so
sold.
close.
I'm in the same boat.
Some more IGN news, and this is about pay, but not necessarily video game stuff. Base pay for freelancers at IGN is apparently starts at $20, and the industry is finally having an honest conversation about unionization and just pay rates in general, which I thought was fascinating. Full disclosure, I did end up shooting a DM to Kat Bailey to try and get some of this stuff, so I can be on the news aggregate kind of team, because I have to build a portfolio somehow. But yeah, what do you guys think about arguably one of the biggest video game websites ever having freelance pay be bad, like not that much?
Yeah, that kind of sucks for sure. Like, especially like you think about the time investment of putting in like so many hours, like writing an article and like editing it and just make sure it's like really good. And like, yeah, that does seem very crazy to me that somebody's just getting paid $20 for this article that's probably going to get hundreds of thousands of views. That's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
It really goes to show you that, and it's unfortunate that a lot of these news outlets operate this way, but it paints a very clear picture that it's very much about quantity and not quality, because there's no way that you want a high quality article and you're going to pay somebody $20 to do it. Like you said, if you like, you're going to spend more. I mean, if you're doing your due diligence, you're going to spend more than an hour like looking up all this stuff. So then you're already, yeah, it's super unfortunate. And it's if you want quality work, you should be willing to pay for it. And I think there's some room for obviously some sort of fluctuating scale, but to start at $20 is I think is way too low.
And I don't know how. Oh, sorry. I think my Discord lagged out for a second there. Sorry. I don't know how it is at IGN or other places, but I did do like a super short, I'll say internship in quotes, at a certain game outlet and I did do news stories there. And you are absolutely right about quantity over quality, but they do want the quality at the same time. So like they're paying you almost nothing to
Right.
get something out under an hour, because you should be spending an hour doing the research and stuff like that. But they want it out so quick because it's news. So I get it. They want it out as fast as possible. They want it to be breaking, but at the same time, they want it to be good. So they'll look over it. It's like, this is terrible. This is terrible. This is terrible. And again, I'm not a professional writer, so I'm sure there are people who are able to put out good writing in a short amount of time. But at the same time, it's not always going to be perfect. And if you're paying somebody $20, I don't think they are inclined to make it perfect either, because that's nothing. So yeah, it
Gene
is.
Park,
Yeah.
Gene Park was tweeting about this as well, and he was saying like, my advice is when he was doing stuff like this is just to get the stuff out and edit after, because the reality is that many news sites are constantly editing stuff after the fact that they've
That's true.
published it, which
Yeah.
I think maybe can lead to some kind of problems depending on the quality of the writing. Like, you don't want to be publishing incorrect information and then fixing it later. That just fundamentally might not work all the time. But yeah, when the reality is you're only getting $20 for trying to get an article out as quick as possible, like there's only so much you can do.
I've seen
It's
that
kind
a
of
lot.
refreshing to see. Good.
Sorry, I've seen that a lot on IGN recently too. Like they post like 2 sentences or whatever, and they're like breaking story at the top, and then that was it. Like there's just 2 sentences until they fill in the article. So yeah, that's very interesting.
And I think there was also something going around showing the rates for like features and listicles and different types of articles outside of news, and they were better, obviously, but there's just something about news that the industry just doesn't pay a lot for some reason, despite it being like you guys are saying, the most trafficked kind of articles that people want to see what's new, but they're not paying very well for it.
I think the thing is that because news is always so constant, like
It's a lot
it's
of
like
it,
very
yeah.
in the moments, and and it's a lot. So
Yeah.
So I mean, like, pay them a bit more bucks.
A bit more, just a little bit
At least
more.
three,
Yeah.
at least three, right? $10 more.
Yeah.
Throw in some V-Bucks. I mean, come on.
You lost me, Dan.
Hey, you
That's a brilliant
played
idea,
last
Dan.
week, right?
Spoilers for what you got for me.
Oh.
I guess last week, yeah, I did.
Yeah.
Yeah, last week, yeah. Sure, for sure. Some more news on pay here. I have from IGN. Capcom is apparently raising employee salaries by 30%, and I have a quote here, written by Chief Human Resources Officer, in a letter sent to investors. Driven by its philosophy of being a creator of entertainment culture that stimulates your senses, Capcom will work to address the issues facing our society while aiming to improve its corporate value and establishing a relationship of trust with employees and stakeholders. End quote. I wanted to include this one as well, just because for so long here at PXM, we've been talking about all the negative stuff that's been happening in so many studios, right? There are positive stories every now and then, but a lot of it is very negative stuff about harassment and et cetera, et cetera. So it's very nice to see studios investing in my opinion, what is most important, which is the individuals working there. And seeing an increase of salaries by 30%, very sizable. So I wanted to celebrate that because I think it's great.
Yeah,
Definitely.
Hope to see more of it though, as well, in other studios.
yeah. And
I mean, you'd think this is a pretty common sense move. Oh, what's this? Capcom's been having some of the best years they've ever had. Let's reward the people who make the games. So yeah, hopefully this is the start of some other places thinking that, because there's some development studios that are long overdue for this kind of reward for making exceptional games.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was gonna say, Gage. Like recently, like Capcom has been knocking it out of the park, and like not that long ago, like 6 years ago or maybe a little longer ago, they were just like putting out crap, and people were very pissed off at Capcom and everything that they were doing. But now, completely 180. So yeah, this is really cool to see the studios kind of get this little extra bonus for doing that. So.
Speaking of very cool stuff we love to see, Lego Star Wars dropped this week, and some review scores were dropping in. So let's take a peek at some early review scores over Nibel's tweet. IGN gave it an 8, Game Informer gave it an 8, Destructoid a 7.5, and on the higher end we got stuff like Shack News, who gave it a 9, Windows Central 4 out of 5, and Hardcore Gamer a 4.5 out of 5. The Open Critic at that time was at an 84. I don't know what it's at now. Dan might know because I know he picked this in his fantasy draft.
I could tell you. I could look it up.
Are you any of you guys Lego Star Wars fans?
Are you kidding me, dude? I used to love these games growing up. I don't think I have the time for it now, is my only thing.
Yeah.
But what is that face for?
I thought I was looking at the wrong number. I thought it went way up. I thought it was 86, but that's 86% critics recommend. It's 83 for Open Critic. So very good.
If I were
I
a kid,
know-
I'd be eating right now playing this game. Are you kidding me?
Definitely.
Speaking
yeah.
of children playing this game, I know Glenn's playing it right now. So we have somebody watching who's very excited about this.
Yes. He becomes a child when he plays this game.
Yep.
Do you guys follow the TikTok account that doesn't? It used to do nothing but do plug walk videos of the Lego Star Wars characters dancing, or sorry, walking to that song.
No.
Plug walk. Anyway, he had to retire because he had finished all the characters. But now that this new game is out, the account's
Oh.
back. And,
There we go.
It rocks. I'm glad he's back.
Return of the Jedi.
We also have
What do we have, Dan? What do
we have Keurig Craft in the Twitch chat, guys. I saw him tweet a very nice
Oh,
tweet
Dan.
shooting our live stream out. So thank you, Keurig.
Oh, very kind.
Nice.
Awesome. Thank
Very
you.
sweet.
Our last quick bite of the day. Dan hates this, by the way. What? It is time to upgrade your armory right alongside your pantry, announcing the official
Gosh.
Halo cookbook from Insight Editions. And that is available for pre-order right now, and it releases over in August. You can check that out. First of all, I just think this is cool. I think it's just a bit of fun news. I don't understand why people were so heated about this. It makes no sense to me. Obviously, the
No.
developers who
What?
are making stuff
Yes.
game-wise for the game are not leaving to make a cookbook on this on the side. They didn't put that on pause. There are different
Right.
teams that work in studios, so I thought that was weird. But this is fun news, in my opinion.
I didn't know people were upset about this, Christian.
Oh, there's people upset about everything. It's
I guess
It's
so.
Twitter.
Yeah.
Somebody's gonna be upset with something.
yeah. Yeah, I think it's kind of crazy. I'm a huge Halo fan. I'm not gonna get this cookbook. I was just like,
Oh.
all
Oh,
right,
you
let's
get the decanters.
do
you
what?
know?
I did. That's fair. But that's usable, even though I don't drink that much. But it's usable.
What, you don't want to cook food?
But I
And
just
Dan, you don't eat?
What is the value of a Halo cookbook? It's a fictional
Oh my-
universe. What am I like?
If you
what
have
is-
to even ask that, then you're not a real Halo fan.
That's not
Kentucky's
true.
number 2 Spartan. I want that as the introduction. from now
No,
on.
get out of
Here's
here.
what we do. Here's what we do. In August, we look up one of these recipes, and I want Dan to make an edit a video of himself making one of these.
Hell yeah.
And
You know
watch
what?
it on the show
I'm
or
down.
something.
I'm down.
I might actually buy it, so I'll send you a recipe.
Nice. Nice. Actually, real quick, I didn't include this in the document, but there was some more Halo news that dropped. I think today there was I don't know if it was a leak or if it was just kind of rumblings or if it was actual information, but there's a Last Spartan Standing coming
Oh,
as a game mode to Halo Infinite, which
Yep.
is kind of like gun game from Call of Duty. Any thoughts on that, Gage and Dan?
I mean, it's something. I'll take it.
yeah.
Okay.
I think it's was that was data mine stuff. So a lot of the
Got
data
it.
miners have found a bunch of stuff in game files for them prepping for season 2's launch, which is next month. So hopefully we get some good content next month finally after 6 months.
Finally, some good content.
Yeah.
Or any content. I'll take anything.
Here's some content we don't want to see, and we're actually in the news, not quick bites anymore. We've got some Ghost Recon news, and I split this up into two kind of separate categories. The first is the not so good stuff. Ghost Recon Breakpoint NFTs are history now. Oh, I guess that's good. We can all celebrate that. There's a statement made. You now own a piece of, for those that did buy the NFT, by the way, you own a piece of the game and have left your mark in its history. Congratulations, I suppose.
Oh no.
The not so good stuff is that Ubisoft promises that NFTs for other games in the future will likely come. So, is that what you guys want? You want a Far Cry NFT? Or
No.
No?
No.
let me tell you, as maybe this is why I'm so jaded about Halo and why Dan and I bicker about it so much, is because I'm also a big Ghost Recon fan. So I've been having a rough go of it everywhere lately. It's really, I'm super upset, and I don't, yeah, it's fine. It's all fine. We're gonna get a Ghost Recon first-person shooter battle royale, so we'll have that to look forward to.
When is the last time a Ghost Recon game was good? Because I don't remember
Future
anymore.
Soldier.
So what, like
20
2013,
That sounds like a
2012?
long time ago.
No, that was like 2010. I want to say 2009.
Okay, yeah. That sounds
Been a
that sounds
long
right,
time.
yeah.
Been a long time. And like Wildlands and Breakpoint aren't bad games, but they're not Ghost Recon games. They're GTA clones. And
Sure.
they're third person Far Cry is exactly what they are. So I mean, you could make the argument for those games, but if we're talking about like the last truly good Ghost Recon third person tactical game, it's Future Soldier.
I don't understand why Ghost Recon isn't that anymore. Like, it's the same thing with Assassin's Creed. Like, remember a few weeks ago when they were talking about like what Assassin's Creed used to be, and it was like assassinate this target, which is what it is now. Like, kill this god.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, what happened to Ghost Recon as well? I don't feel that same kind of tactical gameplay anymore when I look at those.
I don't
Kinda
think
sad.
it is. I don't think we'll get one until I think the only chance we have of getting another Ghost Recon is if PlayStation reboots SOCOM, and then if that takes off, then Ghost Recon might be like Ubisoft might be like, oh well, that's popular, let's do that. But it seems like they're just kind of sticking to their formula. But yeah, SOCOM is my only hope as a Ghost Recon fan right now. So I'm hoping that that's one of those secret projects they're working on.
I do love SOCOM.
Yeah.
Well, Gage, we've got something to look forward to. This is according to Kotaku. Ubisoft is developing a new Ghost Recon game, codenamed Over, and is slated to launch 2023. More like this franchise is over. Am I right, boys?
More like I'm over it. Yeah.
Oh man, is there? Well, I guess you guys already answered the question, but you would want a Ghost Recon to go back to what it was what it was known
Yeah.
for in 2013, and that would be the best case scenario.
Before then, yeah.
How about-
2009 to 10?
How about instead of having this really massive map that's, okay, and flying mechanics that are okay, and driving mechanics that are okay, get rid of all of it and just have it as boots on the ground, semi-linear, semi-open world shooter. Like, I don't need to drive and fly and parachute, and it's just stop. It's time to stop, Ubisoft.
Just stop.
Except don't stop Splinter Cell. Keep that going.
Right.
We want it. We
I
want
wanna
that
s-
Splinter Cell.
I want an open world Splinter Cell with loot and gear score.
That is not what I want. That
No.
is the furthest thing I want from a Splinter Cell game. I hate that you're even
But that's
joking
the
about
only way to have everyone else share my pain as a Ghost Recon fan, is if they do that. Because then everyone will understand.
Now
what it's
you
like.
understand.
Now you understand.
Do you guys remember what happened to Frontline, which was the free-to-play Ghost Recon thing they were doing? That was announced, and I don't remember if anything happened with that.
It was announced, and then they backtracked the next day because the responses were overwhelmingly negative. Because that's even farther away from Ghost Recon than the last two games.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Ubisoft just not hitting the mark recently, eh?
No.
They're not, and it's funny because literally all the fans are so loud and telling them exactly what they want, but they're like,
Yep.
you know what? Let's not do that, and let's try this. And then they show us what they're working on, and we're like, no, we said the other thing. And we're
Yeah.
like, okay, sorry, we didn't hear you. And then they backtrack it,
And it's
then good for Evil is still in development.
right. This is one of those clear examples of when creatives don't have control of the studio and the suits do. Because you're right, Rashan. It's like, it's not even like an argument with Halo where it's like you've got new age fans and old age fans, and there's a bit of sort of back and forth. But like with Ghost Recon, literally like the fan base is unanimous. Like, hey, we want the old tactical Ghost Recon back. There's no back and forth. It's just we all want that, and every game gets farther and farther away from that. It's absolutely insane. It makes me
Well-
want to scream very loudly.
Hold on, I saw Dan unmute. What are you gonna say?
I was just gonna say, like Keurig was saying in the chat, he was reluctant to get back into Assassin's Creed. He tried Valhalla, was surprised and liked it. He got a third of the way through and just rage quit. Which, like, Assassin's Creed is like a prime example of like the game is not the same as what it was. Like, whether or not it's
Right.
good is a different story. Because like Valhalla is a great game, but it's not, it's not the same as the original, Ezio trilogy of Assassin's Creed. It's completely different gameplay and mechanics. So. Although I do think Valhalla kind of brought back some of that, it's still not, that same style.
Right.
My thing with Ubisoft is that they found success with their open world style with, early Assassin's Creed, early Far Cry, and then just figured that they can kind of almost cookie cutter that into
Yep.
the rest of their games as formulas. Um, Instead of like having a vision for each separate game, it's all kind of being samey, and that's led to just like fatigue throughout the entirety of like all the series. Even no matter if people liked Valhalla, like I think the retention was not very high because it was just very samey throughout the whole experience, which is kind of a shame.
Absolutely.
I want Ubisoft to not be as like trend following and start going back to like visionaries of like we're gonna do this game and it's gonna be about this, and be unwavering in that manner.
Well, it's crazy too because the IP that company owns lends itself to covering so many corners of the market. Like you could have your Splinter Cell and Assassin's Creed. So your Splinter Cell can be your linear, really high tech stealth game. Assassin's Creed can be your open world, choose your own path stealth game. Then you've got your Ghost Recon, which can be your third person tactical shooter. You've got Siege, which can be your competitive game. If you want your GTA clone, that can be your Watch Dogs. That's fine. And then you've got Far Cry, which can be your open world first person shooter, sort of like survival sim type thing. But instead, all of these games are actually just open world RPG, grind, get loot, get better gear score. Like it's crazy to me that you can have that many unique IP and have so many corners of the market that you could capitalize on, and instead say like, let's make all of it
Yeah.
actually the same.
And here's the thing: Ubisoft is like the last biggest third party.
Right.
They could be doing these things.
Absolutely.
Having these products all be the same, I think it just hurts them.
Yeah.
Don't forget you forgot Gage capture the tower and then
True.
move on to the next
And
tower.
and I forgot about the
then-
Division 2, which is also another game that's exactly the same. Like if you were to describe one Ubisoft game without mentioning specifics of like settings and like specific game mechanics, you could describe all of them except
All
for
of them.
Rainbow Six Siege.
And there was a time where I really liked there's some older Ubisoft games that I liked, like Child of Light. Like where are
Right.
those games? Like Valiant Hearts, Rayman, even. Like they have these
Yeah.
really cool IPs, like you guys were saying, but they just are sticking to one type of game,
Right.
but spreading it across all their IP instead of like choosing one game to be that one
You're
thing.
right,
and then,
Rashan. They had a period where they were
Yeah.
doing a bunch of cool because they also did that weird like God Sim game called From Dust where you could like terraform and you had to get like this little tribe from point A to point
Right.
B. I don't know if anyone
Yeah.
remembers that game, but you're absolutely right, Rashan. There was a period in time where Ubisoft was like really experimenting and like trying all these different things. But like I said, it seems like the modern day Ubisoft is not one that's led by creatives. It's one that's led by suits saying like, okay, well this is
Yeah.
successful, so make that next thing like this. Like, well, that doesn't really belong in this IP, but sure, I guess I'll do that.
And that might be part of the issue as well, because like for a long time, the rumors were that, or the conjecture was that stealth games don't sell. So like
Right.
Splinter Cell, that's why that went away. That's why Assassin's Creed kind of changed to what it is now, because there was this perception that stealth games just don't sell, which I don't know if that's actually true or not, but
Of course, it's not true because
yeah.
remember, Dan, single player games also don't sell. That's
Right.
why EA had the audacity to cancel Amy Hennig's Star Wars game, which
Right.
I still
Oh.
can't believe. That woman wrote Uncharted. Who are you to say no to that? I can't believe that. But yeah, no, you're absolutely right, Dan. This is the thing. When they say games don't sell, they mean it doesn't make Call of Duty money, right?
Right.
That's all they care about.
Still like Square Enix.
Yeah.
I guess Ubisoft has Riders Republic, which is the most. It's like the only diverse game they've put out in a long
And
time,
it's-
and
And it's pretty
still
much
open.
steep with bikes. But yeah, it's the most
Yeah.
unique thing that they have.
Yeah.
yeah.
I miss Child of Light. That's a good game.
That was a really good game.
And that was like an initiative that UB did back then. Like, wasn't it like UB Arts or something like that? That they,
This
You're
sounds
right,
familiar.
yeah, that would like. I think they just completely were like, yeah, we forgot about this. Like,
Bummer.
yeah,
Oh, before I forget, this is a small part that a lot of people are forgetting, but it ties into the news that you just read off, Christian. Is that
Sure.
when Ubisoft announced that they were rebranding Uplay to Ubisoft Connect, they also made a bunch of big promises that they're going to add crossplay to a lot of their most recent games, and they named Ghost Recon Breakpoint. That seemingly isn't a thing anymore because Ghost Recon Breakpoint's not getting any more updates. So there's a couple. There's an interesting thing there where just promising things and then not delivering them. So Ubisoft's doing Ubisoft things.
Before we move on, I pulled another Ubisoft game out of my hat, out of my childhood memories. I want you guys to guess if you know what it is. I'll give you some hints. It is a 2008 game. That's when it was released. Developed by Ubisoft Montreal, and it is a remake of a beloved trilogy.
Ooh.
Was that the Prince of Persia game that they made?
My man got it.
Oh, there you
Dude,
go.
I love
Yeah.
the Prince of Persia game that Ubisoft made. It was so freaking good.
It was
What
good.
happened to that, man? It was great.
Yeah, you had Nolan North. He was like that was a great game. It was, and then you
Yeah.
had the was it the sorceress that was with you? If you ever fell off the map, she would just like yoink you back up. Yeah, that was a great
Yeah.
game. That was a really good game.
Very cool art style too.
Do you
Yes,
know what
the
killed?
cell shade. Yeah,
Do you know what killed that? Assassin's Creed, because it came out in 2007, and then they franchised the heck out of it.
you're probably not wrong.
Yeah.
Isn't a remaster on the way of that game?
It was supposed
Persia?
to come out last year, and they're like, this doesn't look good enough,
Hmm.
so we'll like
Oh.
Yeah.
delay it, and then we haven't heard anything since. Actually, that's true. Like last month, they were like, we're still working on it, and then yeah.
Isn't it hilarious that the only games that Ubisoft hasn't released are the ones that aren't in its formula, like Beyond Good and Evil 2 and Skull and Bones? All the games that are supposed to be different from every game that they have right now are the ones that aren't coming out.
Skull and Bones. I hear that
Uh-oh.
game's fun.
Yeah.
Anyway, moving on. I switched the stories here. I want to talk about this one first. We're like gradually going into good news, okay? This may or may not be good news, depending on how you read it. This comes from IGN in an interview with Destin Legary. Hassan Carmen from Blue Box Games talked to Destin about kind of like the very weird Twitter presence that Blue Box has had online. Recently, Blue Box deleted, and turns out I think it's Hassan who's behind Blue Box on Twitter. He deleted a bunch of tweets. So he has this to say, and they were kind of asking him about, all the questions really regarding Blue Box and the mystery behind it. I did not see that coming, he explained. I didn't think that the community would respond that way. Basically, the tweets were deleted because some of the concept has changed, and I figured maybe just deleting the tweet and then tweeting more relevant information would be a better idea, which was actually not a good idea. I have learned now just to keep them. Even if the information or concept changed, just keep the older information because some eventually will see for themselves what the difference is and then see what's more actual. And then later on in the article, Hassan continues to say that the abandoned demo actually isn't even the final game. It will just be a game that you can purchase. It's a full, probably not $60, maybe more like $20 or $30. That will give you an idea, kind of what the eventual game will be. It's kind of acting as a prologue, very similar to Metal Gear Ground Zeroes, which you abandons Phantom Pain. If that kind of does that make sense?
Yeah.
Hopefully, yeah. A lot to talk about there, and apparently there's also going to be an updates to the concept demo that was released late last year. So we've got 3 stuff they're working on, and they are a very small studio that somehow PlayStation backed. I don't know why they did this. They seem like they are just very nervous. It reports like they're just very scared to be doing this stuff, and so I kind of want your thoughts on Blue Box in general here.
Oh man, I don't even know what to think anymore. I genuinely hope that this game does come out someday. As I was talking to you guys in our private chat, because I'm just curious now. I just want to see what this is going to be. I feel like I don't even know. I want to give Hassan the benefit of the doubt, but I feel like everything that he's said and he just keeps digging himself a bigger hole. It feels like he gets in situations that he doesn't need to get into. Like he puts himself in these situations. I don't know if it's intentional or by accident. If it ends up that he's doing this all on purpose, like this is some huge game, it's going to be awesome, I'll give him his kudos then. But right now, it just doesn't seem doesn't seem good. Like I watched another interview where it just seemed like he was making stuff up on the spot.
Yes.
Like he was being asked like just straightforward questions and he would answer it, and then the interviewer would follow up with like, "So do you mean this?" And he's like, "No, I mean this," and then he would double down on what he's saying, and then the interviewer would be like, "But that doesn't make any sense." And he's like, well, and then he just can't dig himself back out of the hole that he's made. So I don't know, man. It's a rough situation. Yeah, go for it.
Was he blaming Kojima at some point in that interview? Because I think that's what I read somewhere online, that he was like very hostile against like Kojima and those kinds of like comparisons. I don't know
Yeah,
if you guys got that far.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I didn't see that. I did see him like overtly discredit Jason Schreier, which is an interesting move. I don't know if you saw that, Rashan, in that interview,
yeah.
where he pretty much just said, "No, what Jason wrote that I said isn't true," and it's like, well,
But
say
you
what you
told
will
him
about
that.
Jason Schreier, but he's a pretty good journalist. I sincerely doubt that.
Mm.
I I don't know what to
Yeah.
say. Maybe I could bounce off of one of you guys, but that's I guess all I have right now.
I think it's, I stand by my original guess, which was that this had to be Kojima, because here's the thing, it's clearly not. No.
Here we go.
Listen, it's clearly not. But I stand by my original guess that that's what it was, because the only alternative is that this is clearly a scam. Like, I was looking at everything being said and what this guy was saying, and the history, which is something that a lot of people glossed over when they were covering this, and when people were saying that this guy's fake. It was a lot about S plus L equals abandoned and all that stuff, but nobody really covered the fact that this guy's made 6 games and none of them released ever. So when I was looking at all this stuff, I was like, it has to be. This has to be another one of Kojima's plots, because otherwise it's just this guy who's scamming and has not made a game ever. So I stand by my original thought. I stand by the logic that I had, because otherwise I would just be calling this guy out for scamming, which is what now it looks like. Because I watched that same interview that Rashan's talking about, and not only is he doubling down and digging himself a hole, but also just completely dodging questions and saying a lot of stuff about like it's under NDA, I can't talk about it. And the interviewer's like, well, what, why not though? This isn't something that's normally under NDA. And he's like, no, I don't want to talk about it. So just like refusing to give
that's
answers.
weird.
Yeah.
That is the complete opposite vibe to what I've got from the IGN article, because there's like a very human element that I'm getting from the actual interview that Destin did.
Yeah.
Like,
See,
I want to read the. Go ahead.
the reason I would recommend watching the other video, and I know your reasons for not wanting to, is that for better or for worse, he asks direct questions, and there's a lot of times where these big publications are trying to be friendly, whereas this interview that Rashan and I watched,
Sure.
he was very much like not antagonistic, but like going after him, kind of saying like, all right, this is what we want to know. This is what doesn't make sense. What's your answer? And it was just a lot of dodging the questions, and it doesn't seem. And a lot of the things that I'm curious about that the interviewer asked was that like funding. Like he's claimed that he's worked with a lot of these studios, and these are support studios that work for like major AAA like companies. And he gave a quote that said like he's only spent like $30,000 on like the game, but it's like you've claimed to work with like exactly. A lot of things don't make sense. I don't know. I'll let somebody else have the floor. I don't understand what's going on. I thought it was Kojima at first. It's clearly not Kojima, so I think it's just a scam. I don't know what's going on. I don't know.
So personally, I'm still of the mindset like I think that the truth lies somewhere in the middle, because so I was definitely going to bat for the guy a long time ago when Gage was saying it was Kojima and all this. I was like, all right, I think this guy's just getting in over his head and things are just getting too big. But there are some weird circumstances, like you're saying, when he's getting asked direct questions, he's not able to answer correctly or whatnot. Personally, I could see that as like, I don't even know where he's from. Like, is English even his first language? Like, is that something he's like comfortable taking an interview in? I don't know. But like, if he's not able to deliver his answer in English, and that's making it harder for him to communicate to fans or people that are looking forward to his game, that may be impacting that communication barrier. And I think back in the day, like the problem is like they did fuel some of that, like with the whole S plus L and all of that. But like also at the same time, there was a lot of people that were piling on additional stuff on top of that, saying like, let's get hyped. This thing's going to be amazing. It's going to be Kojima and all of this and this and this. And I just think it did get quite a bit out of hand very quickly for him. So personally,
Go ahead, sorry.
no, I'm just saying, I don't know, I don't know his intentions, so I don't want to say that he's trying to scam people or anything like that, because like we don't know. And making video games is hard. So like the fact that he worked on multiple projects and none came to fruition doesn't necessarily mean he's scamming people. It just means like video game development is hard. Like there's never a time where you're going to be, completely invested and be able to release everything that you ever touch. So I can't necessarily point to that as something that would be a red flag. Sure, it is like suspect, but like, I don't know. It's tricky though, for sure.
It is. And you know what? I would like to respectfully disagree, Dan, because I'm thinking about it, and it's one thing to say like video game development is hard and it might just be bigger than he's imagining, but he's also just giving. See, but no, you have. We can't get to the point where we're so. I can't think of the word to use it, but like we're giving people the benefit of the doubt even after they've clearly demonstrated that there's something going on. Like again, it's not just the S+L thing, which people got really hyped on. Also, didn't the next thing he release after that, after saying that wasn't thing, didn't he release like a picture of his protagonist with like an eye patch? Like
Yes.
in the midst of all the Kojima stuff, it's like, okay, what are you doing there, guy? But also, so the funding is the biggest thing. He's not telling us who's funding it. Apparently, it's so in this interview that Rashan and I watched, it's not PlayStation. They've not funded him at all, so we don't know who's funding him. And he said he's only spent $30,000 on outsourcing to the game, but he's also claimed to work with 3 or 4 massive studios that work for games like Naughty Dog and Halo and stuff like that, which the interviewer pressed him on. So it's like there is one thing of like, yeah, he's a human and it's tough, but it's like, okay, but you're also giving answers that don't make any sense, like that on paper do not line up with any sort of. Go ahead.
Sorry, no, I will touch on that a little bit, because like the dude who interviewed him, instead of being cagey about it, Colin Moriarty, like I personally think he is a very like aggressive interviewer. So like he can be very intimidating when you're being interviewed by him. So I don't necessarily think that, his interview should be taken as, evidence as, hey, this is, this guy's a fake because he can't answer Colin's questions directly and he's like getting really like cagey answers and all of that. Like Christian said, Destin does a great job with the stuff that he covers. So like I feel like that Destin's not just going to say, let's support this guy, just for the heck of it. And Destin has a much more positive story on IGN. Not positive, but like more, not destroying this dude. Like Destin isn't going to come into an interview saying, all right, so on this day at this time, what were you doing at this moment? And
I don't think
the
the interview was like that though. I didn't perceive it like that at all.
Yeah, I won't like defend Colin for his past atrocities and stuff like that, and I won't disagree with Dan for saying that he can be. I won't disagree with Dan with Colin's interview style. He can be like intense sometimes, but the questions that he was asking Hassan were very direct. Just like, this is the question, what's your answer? And then when it was time for him to answer, he would just say something completely unrelated to the question and just go off topic on that. And then Colin would be like, but you didn't answer my question, and they just repeat the question, then he'll go off on something else. So like I totally agree with Dan. Like Colin, if I were being interviewed by Colin, I would be nervous, and he did at the beginning of the interview say, I'm going to be nervous, so just keep that in mind. And I think and again, I'm not in Colin's head, I'm not in Hassan's head, but I do think he kept that in mind, and I don't think he was as intense as he usually can be. But the questions that he was asking were just like simple yes or no questions, or just like answer this with one word, like if you want to, I understand like the language barrier thing that you were saying as well, but people will understand if you're just being truthful. If you're just answering with the truth, then like that's all you have to say. So yeah,
I think if anything, my take is that I feel really bad for Hassan because you can tell it is a very small team doing this stuff, and Hassan probably has if he is going to be taking on interviews, he needs to hire
Be prepared.
on,
Or-
not be
yeah,
prepared, hire on like someone
that's
to help
true.
him with like PR and stuff.
Media
Like,
trading, yeah.
yeah, media training is even better. Yeah, great idea, Gage, because like it can get very convoluted very quickly, especially if you've got all these things to worry about. You got expectations. To me, it's a lot, and so I don't blame him for cracking under the pressure, but at the same time, there's a lot of there was a lot of suspect things. When this was first coming out.
Imposter.
He vented.
Emergency meeting.
So we'll see if any of the the prologue demo or abandoned or the real-time experience app does indeed get updated.
Yeah.
22.
We're just going off of what he's given us.
Right.
I don't know what's going on behind the scenes. I genuinely hope that he doesn't deserve the hate that he's getting, unless again he is scamming us. Then yes, he does. But we don't know until the game comes out or it doesn't come out. So we can only go off of what
Also-
we've seen. So I'm not trying to be mean to Hassan. I
For
just
sure.
based on what we know, that's just how I feel.
And on behalf of people who think like me, I just want to put it out there. You can think this guy's scamming people. You don't have to go and tweet at him. I will never go and tweet at this guy and say mean things to him. I just have my opinion, and you can have your opinion as well and not be an asshole about it. So there is also that. Yeah, don't go after and harass people on the internet because of what you think. You can just think it, and then that's it.
Good point. Great point, Gage. Moving on to our last news story of the day. Finally, some good food, right? Take
Yum.
that, Halo Cookbook. Remedy announces that they will remake Max Payne 1 and 2 using their in-house Northlight engine. And I think Rockstar is funding the project. Here's some more details from PR. It's a standalone title. It comes with 1 and 2. And is being developed for PS5, Xbox Series X and S, as well as PC. The budget has the same size as a typical Remedy AAA production. I think games like the Control, right? Being financed by Rockstar Games and is currently at a quote concept development stage, unquote. Love to see it. Max Payne games, great. I for one think Max Payne 3 is my favorite, but that's just me. And I'm very happy that these are getting a remake.
Yes,
Good
very
news.
much. And the fact that, Max Payne 1 and 2 was made by Remedy back in the day, so it's cool that Rockstar's like, yeah, take the license and, remake your beloved games. That's pretty cool. Obviously.
you guys-
Rockstar gets me back.
Do you guys think that the recent remake, that from an optics standpoint, do you think it was a safer bet for them to say, "Hey, Remedy, why don't you handle this remake instead of us with all the bad press that they got for the?"
Oh, the GTA remakes.
yeah.
That's right. Yeah.
Even though it wasn't necessarily Rockstar that made those games, it was still. I mean, their names attached to it, right? So from an optics standpoint, I wonder if, in order to get because this has got nothing but good responses, right? Because it's Remedy making it. So I wonder if that had anything to do with it. But yeah, no, it's good. It's good news. It's good news.
I'd say also Rockstar's a little busy right now. Making
True.
GTA 6 and whatever's after Red Dead Redemption.
I mean, are they
2.
even making it? I don't even know anymore.
I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, Rockstar's busy not making Undead Nightmare 2. So
Any of you guys looking forward to this? Ro, are you looking forward to playing Max Payne?
I haven't played the original Max Payne games actually, so this I am excited. I would definitely give it a remake a shot. Quantum Break and Control are the only Remedy games that I've actually played. I love both of those though. Those are awesome games.
Gotta play
Um,
Alan Wake, Ro.
Yes, so I've heard. I know they're making a remake, right? Aren't they remaking that
They
too?
already did.
They're
Or
making
no, the
Alan Wake
remaster, right?
3.
Oh right, yes.
it was a
yes, yes,
remaster.
yes.
Yeah, it was a
Remaster.
remaster.
Or
Three?
Alan Wake 2. Well, it's Alan Wake 2, but they made American Nightmare, which is XBLA downloadable game. But yeah.
Oh, okay. But yeah, I've been told that Alan Wake is the one that I should try. But yeah, I honestly I'll probably play Max Payne before I play Alan Wake. Honestly, I'm just probably never going to get around to it. But yeah, I'm definitely a Remedy Games fan from the 2 games that I played, so I'm definitely interested in playing Max Payne when it does come around.
The monologues in Max Payne 3. Oh, I'm going sicko mode right now just thinking about it.
Remedy's never made a bad game, so I'm all in. I'm all in.
Does
for
it-
this.
Christian, does it bother you that I made it probably like 78% of the way through Max Payne 3 and never finished it.
Listen, it happens. I'm not gonna blame you. You know, it's fine.
I respect that.
That is it for the news. Before we get to the topic of the show, quick break, guys. Well, Dan, give us the check-in for the draft.
Oh, I don't
I think it's probably the same as last week.
Well, it
No,
is the same.
Dan is
as
winning
last week,
again.
yes.
Dan's winning more.
Well, not yet because it's not tallied yet. But Star Wars,
Oh.
Okay.
yeah. Once that gets added in there, man, look out. Oh wait, it is added. Wait, 106? That's not how many I had before, right?
Uh-oh.
It is. It's in there. 13 points for Lego Star Wars: The Skywalker Saga. I'm at 106 points, gents.
Nice.
I hate this guy.
Christian, you're at 56, it looks like. And I'm at 8. And Gage, you're still at 6. we're still at the bottom.
Well, the good news is, guys, I only have 2 games left. Or no, wait, I have 3 games left on my list that haven't come out yet. That's all I have left. But I still have a couple more to add.
Yes. Oh, you got Chuck Toyomi, Christian.
I did. Yeah, I picked it up
Nice.
like 2 weeks ago, I think. So
Nice. I didn't notice. Very
Fingers
cool.
crossed.
Very cool.
Nice.
okay. Now, guys, what you got for me? Dan, let's start with you.
Oh, all right. I got MLB The Show 22 in Game Pass, so I played it yesterday. I played one match of it, had some fun, but the computer beat me, so I was a little disappointed about that. I lost 3-0, so I'm gonna have to keep working at that. But
Damn.
also, I played a surprising game that Gage already knows because he was in the party when I was playing it. But this game, no one's going to expect me to say this, but here we go. Jurassic World Evolution.
Oh, the
Yes.
park simulator game, right?
Yeah, the
My
original.
friend loves that game.
Yes, the original one, not the second one that came out last year.
Never mind then.
But it's in Game Pass, so that's why I've been playing it, and I freaking love Zoo Tycoon from back in the day and all the park sims. Yeah, so
Roller
good.
Coaster Tycoon.
Yes,
Love those games.
and I love dinosaurs. I'm obsessed with dinosaurs. I love Jurassic Park, so I was like, all right, I'm gonna finally play this. It's been a long time coming. I literally couldn't stop playing it. I played so many hours of it already. It has like a campaign or whatever where you can go through different stages. I love like how different each island is. So they have a bunch of islands and you go through and you basically reform the island at each location. And you're trying to bring them back to profitability and like create new dinosaurs and all of that research and everything. And I love how each island is like unique. So like one island you may start like bankrupt. So like the island that I just started a little while ago, it was starting at like negative $1 million or something. And they're like, all right, here's your island. They had an outbreak of dinosaurs. They ravaged the island and now they're bankrupt and you have to sell buildings in order to get yourself back profitable so you can build dinosaurs to bring people back to the park. I just love it. It's so cool that like every island is unique and it's super fun. But yeah, I'm
glad
real.
you're having fun, buddy. That's my thing.
Dude, I obsess over like the Sim stuff. Like Sim City, I love that too back in the day. The 2013 game that people freaked out because it was online only. I loved it. Yeah.
Dan, this is the most American you've ever been. You've been playing baseball and you're excited about dinosaurs, man.
Dude,
God bless you.
I love it.
God bless you.
I love it.
Are you also a person that likes doing their taxes?
No. No.
Just kidding.
But my mom used to do all of our taxes. Now I have to do my own because I took accounting classes in college. So I was originally not originally, but my second major was accounting. And my mom ever since then's like, no, you're doing your taxes. You know how to do it. I'm like,
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Damn, bummer.
anyways.
Bro.
Yes. Dan talking about Jurassic World reminded me of the Sims game that I used to play when I was a kid, My Sims on the DS.
Ooh.
I loved that game so much. What a trip that was. Thank you, Dan, for helping me
Yes.
remember that game.
Yes.
But the game that I have been playing, finally, I have gotten my hands on Kirby and the Forgotten Land, and I picked it up yesterday. And it's a good time. It is very fun. Let me see. I wrote down some notes. about my favorite parts so far. But I just love that Nintendo is taking like their core, like Mario, Zelda, what was the other one? Pokemon, and kind of just reimagining in it, like Arceus and Breath of the Wild and Odyssey. And now this is what I'm hoping is going to be like the template that they use going forward for the future games. So Kirby finally being in 3D is so awesome. It just makes so much sense, and seeing all the characters just move around freely, it's awesome. There's a battle that happens later on with King DDD. I'm not going to spoil anything, but it's like surprisingly cinematic. I was like, what is going on in this Kirby game right now?
Triple
But
D's?
you triple Ds, yes, yeah.
Well,
Yeah, and very early on you get access to the mouthful mode, and I just smiled, and I don't think that smile left my face until I turned off the game for the night. It's just fun, man. I'm having a blast with it right now. There's surprisingly challenging. There's some, not the actual levels, but there's some side challenges that they have you do to get these rare stars that you can use to upgrade your copy abilities, and some of them are kind of tough. So I was surprised by that. But yeah, it's a good game.
I want to play it so bad.
It's fun. I like it. It's you don't have to think too hard. It's just fun.
I also couldn't tell if Nintendo was doing its artificial scarcity thing, but like, you cannot find Kirby in stores right now pretty easily.
Oh, really? Oh,
On Amazon, you gotta wait like 2 or 3 weeks to get it in the mail.
might be
Bro.
just different in Canada, I guess.
Bro,
I got it.
Sorry.
Yeah. Oh, sorry.
No,
sorry.
go ahead.
I was just saying. I just walked into GameSpot and get it. I didn't notice that it was hard to get recently.
Keurig says a great visual novel type game on the DS is Hotel Dusk Room 215. He said you would probably like it.
I will definitely
What a
check it out.
pull.
I love me a visual novel, so I'll definitely check it out. Thank you, Kurok.
Okay, I'm gonna do a video game poll now, right? Everyone ready? When are they going to remake Simpsons Hit and Run?
Oh,
I want that so bad.
there was
Hell
the
yeah.
fan made one, right? That the fan was going through and redoing it.
Speaking of fan-made projects, I guess this is like, well, I'm already in the transition. I've been playing. I don't know. Dan is the answer. Is there really? That's
yeah,
really cool.
I believe
if there is.
so. Yeah.
I might check that out then. PC, I'm assuming, probably.
Yeah. I don't know if it's released, but I remember seeing like a comparison, and it's like really good too. Like the upres that they did.
I'll look into that.
Yeah.
Speaking of fan-made upscale projects, I downloaded. There was a humble sale, RE4. By the way, I also found out RE4 is available to play via PS Now, which I upgraded, but I don't want to stream it, so I bought it on PC, and then subsequently downloaded the free HD project. It took me a little while to download all 18 files, but I was able to mod the game, and I started playing it, and it's fantastic. Running that game at 60 with up-res textures, it looks freaking incredible. And even though I was enjoying playing that game in VR, it was tiresome to play. I never really felt like that kind of terror. It was cool being in first person. It was scary being in those actiony set pieces, but it felt more like FPS than actual like horror, traditional like Resident Evil horror game. Playing this, again, this is for the first time. I've never played RE4 before. I tried it once and never got very far. So playing it now on PC, I'm like, this is way more frightening. And it's because of the limited controls of that time, right? The kind of more tanky controls, but kind of that stiffness. And it's been great, dude. I've been really enjoying it. I look forward to getting back. Also played more Fortnite this week, and yes, I have gotten a lot more dubs. Accidentally went into build mode with my squad, and we still won that lobby, so that was pretty cool. But yeah. Before I get to you, Gage, I want to ask Dan, when are we gonna play Oculus together? Sorry, Meta.
Whenever, hit me up. Whenever.
I'll do
Literally any day of the week, Christian.
Gage, Ubisoft fan, what are you playing?
I am playing Assassin's Creed Valhalla, not because I bought it, but because my friend did, who is game sharing with me. So I was like, you know what? I'm hankering for a new RPG to sink my teeth into, something to keep me busy while I wait for more Halo stuff. And it's fine. It's got a lot of really cool ideas, and it executes them all very mediocrely. So it's it's there's a lot of content. There's not a lot of quality. Sorry, Dan. I know you hate to hear it, but it's true. There's way too much talking. 30% of the voice actors are really good. The other 70% are okay. You know, some of the combat's really good. Some of it's very shallow. Boats are cool, I guess, and the rating's kind of cool, but yeah, it is what it is. It's keep me busy.
Just all around praise from you, man. I love to see it.
I love
I,
that game.
I did some research on the game that Kurak suggested, Hotel Dusk Room 215 for the Nintendo DS. And I did Google image search. It's like, oh, this looks really cool. Then I went onto YouTube and I looked at some gameplay. It's like, oh, this looks really cool. I really want to get it. And then I go onto Amazon and it's $172.
Oh,
Holy
God,
shit.
game preservation. Why? But yeah, so I'm not going to be playing this game anytime soon, probably. But it looks awesome.
you should. What's that character's name? Screw all this. You should pirate it. You should pirate it.
Yeah, you know what? I do have a RetroArch on my computer, so maybe I will.
There you go.
Nintendo, you didn't hear that from me.
Arrest them, boys.
That's a good idea. I didn't even think of that.
Okay, it's time for topic of the show. Finally, things are about to get unreal. In a recent keynote, Epic Games' State of Unreal. I also wanted to say that they spent some time talking about like Unreal Engine just in general and some of like the recent stuff they've done. A big highlight was Matrix Awakens. Did you guys play Matrix Awakens?
Mhm.
That like kind of tech demo.
Yes.
I watched it. I don't have a PS5.
You did as you did, Dan.
Yes, I did. It was insane visually.
That and I think Kid A Amnesiac, the exhibition. I think that was also made in Unreal. I still have that exhibition on my PlayStation. That thing is like absolutely fantastic. But yeah, they were just kind of highlighting stuff about Unreal Engine, and that all led into the announcement that Unreal Engine 5 is now available today for all developers. I'm gonna hit some highlights here. It launches with Lyra, a starter game that you can toy around with and build upon, which is pretty cool for those of you that want to toy around with Unreal Engine, kind of be developer and stuff like that. So that stuff was really cool. But like kind of the bigger highlight here, which Dan was really excited about, the Coalition has created another cinematic demo in Unreal Engine 5. About a minute and a half, kind of a cinematic kind of video on YouTube. There's music playing. It's not actual like characters that we know of, but like, my God, Coalition absolutely nails Unreal Engine. Like they really understand it, and it looks freaking fantastic. And I'll stop there here for a second and kind of ask, like, did you guys, anybody else watch the Coalition video apart from Dan?
Not yet, no.
I did watch. I didn't finish it honestly, but I am watching the rest of it now as we talk. And yeah, it looks amazing. I remember even before this video, they did like a show off of some armor. I think it was a while ago, and that looked incredible. So seeing all of that in motion is just it's jaw dropping. So again, like we said. Like we all said, I think when they showed off the armor, I can't wait for whatever they're making. Like their next Gears game, whatever it is, it's going to be gorgeous at least. So yeah, I'm definitely hyped for that. And Unreal Engine 5 is it's just so crazy to see how far games have come, and we always think like how can they top this? And sometimes it's just a little bit, but sometimes it's like, wow, that's how much they can do. So yeah, it's definitely impressive stuff.
Before I get to you, Dan, like watching that tech demo, there are a few moments that like my suspension of disbelief was like kicked into full gear. That I believe that the character they were showing off was like a real person. There was a moment when they do a close up of the eyes, and like, yeah, that to me almost looked pretty freaking real. Obviously, it's not a real person, but like, it got close for a second to trick my mind into thinking like, oh my God, wait, is it a real person? No, of course not. But yeah, what do you think, Dan?
Yeah, it looks amazing. Like obviously Unreal Engine 5 is the first engine that they've built that is literally for next gen consoles. So like that's the biggest thing. So like people working on next gen games can now make these beautiful worlds, and like Unreal Engine 5 is going to help them make it easier and better. And yeah, the Coalition, The Coalition is literally Microsoft's, Naughty Dog. Like, they make beautiful games. Gears 5 still looks absolutely phenomenal. Like, and that's an Xbox One game. Like, that's what people forget. And like, essentially, like, Microsoft had positioned the Initiative as being that, but like, they already have the Coalition that is pretty much already in that caliber, in my opinion. And yeah, it's really cool. Obviously, formerly, Epic Games was the big showpiece when they showed off Gears of War on, Xbox 360 generation for Unreal Engine. But now it's almost like the Coalition is like their showpiece because Gears 5 showed it off very well, Gears 4, and now, Coalition's still making cool stuff for it. So yeah, looks real good, real good.
The Coalition for me is like the bar of like what you can do with Unreal Engine. Like they really know
Right.
how to utilize it. So very cool stuff.
Yeah.
Dan was mentioning here for a second, like this, that now studios get to use it, and there are so many studios that are now working with Unreal Engine 5. There's a huge graphic up that I linked there in the doc. It highlights so many of them, and I'm gonna read you just a few. And there are a lot of few highlights. We've got Rare, PlayStation, and PSVR 2. Don't Nod, Remedy, Max Payne maybe? No, sorry, they're using the other engine. I'm sorry.
True.
CDPR, of course, we knew that they were using Unreal Engine 5 for the next Witcher title. The Initiative, Xbox, Obsidian, Gearbox, Devolver Digital, freaking Playdead, Ninja Theory. I was losing my mind at this point. Haven, That's No Moon, and so much more. And my question here is like, where does the future lie with video games with Unreal Engine 5? What kinds of games do you want to see? Like, what is Playdead going to make in Unreal Engine 5, right?
Playdead has a new game coming up. Remember the sci-fi one that they announced? I don't even know. Yeah, I don't think they actually announced the name or anything like that, but they have something in the works, and now I'm super excited. As you said, Playdead, I was like, oh, it's that game. It's got to be that game. I'm so excited now. It's going to be beautiful.
Those games were already beautiful. Like, let's be real. Inside Still is like gorgeous.
Yeah. The art style is phenomenal. Like, pair their art style with this great engine and tool. Oof.
Yeah, their current project is what they describe as a third-person science fiction action adventure set in a remote corner of the universe. So yeah, it's gonna be awesome.
I'm losing my goddamn mind.
Yeah, that's gonna be really cool. But you were excited about Ninja Theory too? What do you possibilities?
Yeah, I don't know if they're using Unreal Engine for Hellblade.
They are.
Are they really?
Yes.
And that game already looks gorgeous. But like I think for me, I'm also really curious about Project Mara, which we got to see a look at a while ago, and it's been kind of quiet since then. And there was, I think, a rumor, or I don't know if it was actual information, but they are working on something else in addition to Project Mara and Hellblade. Yeah, what Ninja Theory is doing is like on a studio level is incredible. So pairing it with Unreal Engine 5, like it's gonna be freaking fantastic. And props to Xbox for picking them up, because they're gonna be able to show off these games as like, here are tentpole first party titles, and they look freaking amazing, and they're run by like fantastic teams. So I think the future will be unreal, man.
Can we get Bandai Namco to let Microsoft make a Enslaved Odyssey to the West sequel for Ninja Theory? Please.
That was a great game. That was a great game.
Yes.
Yep.
It's fantastic.
It's a hidden gem.
Yeah.
It's a hidden gem.
It's like a sci-fi mixed with like Uncharted is the best way I could put it.
Oh.
Yeah.
Actually, you know what? It's kind of I mean, not that we know that this is a fact, but it almost feels like Horizon was inspired a little bit by that. Now that you bring that up, because it is very similar vibes.
True.
Very similar vibes to Horizon.
There's another studio that I would love for them to get their hands on Unreal Engine, just because of how beautiful their PS4 game is Ready at Dawn, because or The Order 1886. I remember being blown away by that game.
Yeah.
Graphically, it's a shame how it turned out. I enjoyed it, but I won't defend it by any means, saying it's a good game. I enjoyed it, but I would love them.
It's a great game. It was just like way too short.
Just short. Yeah, you're right. It was really short. But if they were able to get their hands on it for a sequel or something else, I'm sure it'll be amazing.
Tell you what, if I've ever seen a Game Pass game, a PlayStation equivalent of a Game Pass game, it's that one. It was a perfect pickup on sale. I won't lie to you. Bro, I like that pull.
Thank you.
Dan, or before we move on, any kinds of titles you'd like to see in Unreal Engine 5 from these studios, or any studios really?
I would just like to see more developers use Unreal 5. I mean, obviously every development studio, some of them have great proprietary stuff that they're used to, but what we're seeing out of Unreal Engine 5, and I mean, and even Unreal Engine 4, which I've actually fooled around with a little bit recently, is that they're incredibly flexible, and as much as studios might want to save costs on not licensing, there is a huge benefit to using a product that is already made by another company that you have access to tech support and help and all this stuff. So I'm just excited that Unreal Engine 5 seems to be the upgrade that a lot of people wanted it to be, because that might mean that we see more developers using it, and if we, like I said, if we see more developers using this stuff and not having to figure things out on their own and work through all the hurdles of creating your own engine, and you just have all that done for you, and you just come in and you use this finished product, I think we might see games quicker, games made better, and I'm excited. I'm just excited for the future, seeing this technology, because it looks awesome.
Okay, I want to add real quick too. Sorry, I want to jump in with something Gage said. I completely forgot as well that Haven and That's No Moon were studios in that lineup, and I think for me, like, that prospect of using Unreal Engine 5 to make like these kind of shooter games, where we know Haven is kind of more like a live. I don't want to call it a live service game, but it is an online focus game. I don't know if
Right.
That's No Moon will be as well, but like, regardless, those are both shooters. I think for me, what I look for in these kind of shooters games is, one, like, does it feel good to play?
Right.
That's its own thing. But two, like, is the story interesting, and like does it resonate with me, and am I invested in it? And I think if you have shooters like based in Unreal Engine 5, you can do a lot of interesting things with both the gameplay and how visually stunning, like, just think on a cinematography level, like what those games will look like during like those kinds of cutscenes or story elements. I think that's going to be really exciting for where Haven and That's No Moon are, or what they're trying to do in the shooter space. So that excites me.
I mean, That's No Moon specifically. Taylor Kurosako is he was the lead narrative. He was the narrative lead on the Modern Warfare reboot. So I'm very excited to see what he's working on. And I think actually I think when he left Activision, he took, or Infinity Ward, sorry, I think he took the lead, the gameplay lead as well. So they both left, and like we've all mentioned before, Modern Warfare reboot was fantastic. It felt like the first true Call of Duty sequel in a long time. And Christian and I have talked about how we both really like the narrative. The narrative was the strongest it's been in a Call of Duty in a long time. So I'm excited to see what he does specifically at That's No Moon. And like you said, with Unreal 5 and the tech and the facial animations and the sort of potential there, yeah, I'm very excited to see what they pull off.
I want to move on to our final little news item here on our Unreal segment. Yes, Crystal Dynamics is working on the next Tomb Raider game, and it will be based on Uncharted.
I mean,
Sorry.
probably.
I'm so sorry. It'll be based on Unreal Engine 5. There's lots of questions here. I wrote one down, but I don't want to get there yet. First of all, did either of you guys play any of the trilogy, the original reboot trilogy? I played the first two. Ro, you did?
Yes.
I
did.
played the first one to completion, and I played the second one. I put a couple hours into the second one, but then it lost me.
Yeah, I played the first two to completion as well.
Yeah. I think I played all three of them, but surprisingly, the third one is the most recent one is the one that is so far out of my mind. I remember the first two, like, I just played them.
Right.
But yeah, I don't remember finishing the third one. I'm not sure if I did.
I only remember the first one, and I played 1 and 2. And yet, this news that Tomb Raider is coming back, I'm still kind of excited for the prospect of that with Unreal Engine 5. Like, even if the story itself isn't good, like that reboot trilogy looked stunning, right?
Fantastic.
Camila Luddington put a great performance in it as Lara, and like, I'm down to give this new one a try. So, are you guys excited for a new Tomb Raider game?
Definitely, yes. I love the trilogy. I know I said I don't really remember the third one, but I really had a good time playing them. And like you said, even if the story is not good, they're just a good good time with gameplay and all that stuff. And the puzzles, yeah, I think it was a good reboot. I know some people had a little bit of an issue with the first one when it came out initially, but I think eventually people warmed up to it, and it was a good trilogy.
Yeah, it's like we got this back and forth almost, like, you know, Tomb Raider started that, you know, sort of subgenre or whatever you want to call it, and then Uncharted went and perfected it, and then Tomb Raider was like, all right, that's doing well, let's pull ours back out and like model it in that fashion as well. So like, yeah, I'm very excited as well to see this and what kind of hair physics we can get in this new Unreal Engine.
I was thinking the same thing. They could finally nail the hair.
Yeah.
I also really enjoyed the bow combat. I'm not gonna lie to you. I primarily used that bow. The guns never felt good, but the bow was
Guns felt awful. The guns, yeah. Now that you mentioned that, I remember that was the one takeaway from all of them. The guns felt absolutely awful to use.
But the exploration itself was fun. Like the puzzles of like each of them tombs. I almost you know what they call them. Yeah, the tombs. Like that was always great. So yeah, I'm excited. But the big question here is that it's Crystal Dynamics working on it. Like, what is going on with Avengers? Our Ro, as a resident Avengers kind of fan.
Oh man, even
I don't know if I can plug it. What do you think?
I don't think it's looking good for Avengers. Yeah, they still they promise that they're still working on stuff, that they have plans for 2022 content, and they're still very, very silent on those plans. So I think that gives them the leeway to not do anything and maybe move on to something else because they haven't announced anything. But yeah, it is possible, like you have in the question, that they have another team, a smaller team that continues work on the Avengers. But I don't know how big that player pool is still that they need to work on it, or if they could just pull the plug on it. As of now, I don't know how you guys feel about it. It's been a while since I played it too. I know you called me the Avengers fan, but it just might be that I'm the only one that actually played it. Yeah.
I know it kind of it might seem contradictory to everything I said, especially about with like, you know, decisions being made that are business first and creative later. But I do think there is a fever pitch of like, if there's 100 people playing your game, is it worth it to still put X amount of resources to create new content? Like I would like for the fans to get more content, but there is a certain point where it's like, we've looked at the Steam numbers for this game over several weeks, and it's like crazy low. Like there is very, very few people playing this game. So I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised if Square Enix calls it on Avengers within the next year. But I mean, if people are enjoying the game, then, you know, sure, have a small team dedicated to it. But I wouldn't be surprised if, from the business standpoint, that they do pull the plug, because that game has underperformed to a crazy level.
Yeah.
Right now, it's 224 people are playing as of 9 minutes ago.
Concurrent? Oh my god!
On Steam right now. All time is 28,000 is the all time peak, but right now, and the day peak is 286 for today.
That is crazy low.
Yeah, that's
it's
just
not bad,
Steam
it's
though.
all bad.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, it's in the same territory.
Oh man.
Turns out people do want single player games, though. Am I right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
And
Screw you, EA.
And Crystal's making 2 of them with Perfect Dark. Essentially, essentially Crystal Dynamics is making that game because of the whole initiative fiasco. So like, I don't think there's any room left for their team to be working on Avengers. Yeah. I mean, rest in peace, Avengers.
How do you feel how do you think the devs feel good about this? They got to be excited to work on like more single player games, I'd imagine. Right?
Yeah.
I'd hope so, because I feel like even the devs are upset that how the trajectory of Avengers went. Like, I'm sure they didn't want to make a live service game. I assume that they probably were hoping to make a campaign sort of thing, and then make some War for Wakanda stuff instead of having to balance the two. So yeah, I'm hoping that they're excited to move on to something else that's a little bit more up their alley.
And like, it didn't have to be a live service game. Like, they could have made it a story focused game that just so happened to have co-op in it, right?
Look at the research. Yeah, Or even look at the resurgence of your Left 4 Dead style, like 4-player PvE games, right? Like if they could have gone that route, just remove the live service element, make it something like again, you can play Back 4 Blood right now. There's no microtransactions. They have their old fashioned seasons pass, but that's it. There's no need to grind. There's no need to do this. There's no, you know what I mean? Like the live service element killed it, and I wonder if that was, I don't know what the decision making was behind that. That's not where Crystal Dynamics' strong suit is either.
I don't even know if like do gamers even want to grind anymore, because I know Destiny was like critically acclaimed when that DLC dropped, and then from what I've heard from Destiny players that I talked to, once like they played like the campaign stuff and tried out like kind of the raid stuff, they went back to like that same kind of grind that their Destiny is familiar with, and they all kind of dropped. Like they'll log in every now and then, but it's that retention just isn't the same.
If I had to guess, I feel like the answer is yes and no. At all times, some gamers do want to grind and some gamers don't, and I think it comes down to age. As we get older, we have less and less time to grind, right? Like I would very much like to pick up a game and just be able to make a decent amount of progress when I have time to. However, if I was in like grade 10 high school right now, I would love to have a game that takes hours and hours to sink my teeth into because I got nothing else going on. So I think that's the problem, is that you'll never have a consistent yes or no answer because gaming it spans so many different demographics. So for all of us folks that are, in our 20s, 30s, 40s, that we have full-time jobs, I mean, no, we don't want to necessarily grind all the time, especially with so many games coming out. But the youngsters, I mean, I know the amount of hours I put into Halo Reach in high school is like unhealthy. I would not be able to do that again with any game. So yeah, I mean, I think it's a bit of both, right? I think some kids do want grind, and some people don't, and it makes it hard for the developers to kind of pick and choose.
My last takeaway is that I hope the next Tomb Raider installment is away a little bit from the recent Crystal Dynamics reboot kind of games, and I don't know. Like I know it's the next like title in that series, but something about it felt a little bit too borrowed from other titles, and I want it to be more of its own.
Yeah, it did feel very heavily inspired by Uncharted. You know what I want in the next Tomb Raider? I want them to look at what Kirby's doing. I want triple Ds, and I want mouthful mode.
Anyway,
I don't know what's confusing about that. That's what I want. That's what I want.
Folks, thank you everyone again joining us live on YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter, as well as podcast services everywhere, including Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, SoundCloud, Spotify, and Stitcher. Thank you, Ro. Thank you, me. Thank you, Dan. Gage was here. And this has been Podcast PXN, and we are out. Much love. And
keep on gaming.
LaRussie.
See ya.